Hi everyone, how's it going? I just wanted to hop on here. Like I said, I would hop on here. Here I am, I'm back. I wanted to talk a little bit about different shapes, different common shapes that we see from time to time. For those who don't know me, my name is Nina. I am a crystal healer, initiated into Toltec shamanism and Indian shamanism. And I love to teach about crystals, give energy healings, and I teach people about energy healing as well. So today we're going to talk a little bit about pyramids, spheres, skulls, and cubes. So if there's a particular shape or object that you are curious about, if when you hop on this live, please mention it in the chat, um, or just leave it below in the comments, and I'll cover it in a future live. So in this live, we always see pyramids. Look, I have this beautiful shungite pyramid. And pyramids are amazing because they amplify and they stabilize energy. So it's like one, two, three, four triangles in a square. So this is actually a combination of different shapes. So when you understand different shapes in sacred geometry, then it's easier to understand how these shapes play a role with the crystals. And then, of course, if you look at each crystal each, let's call them categories for the sake of better words. When you look at each category or type of crystal at the very base level, they all have a particular structure that they are based off of. I believe they're called the platonic solids. But nonetheless, so pyramids, we have this lovely black shungite pyramid. This is from Russia, and the Russian astronauts use this actually in their spaceships because it helps with the radiation. It helps protect from radiation. So this is an excellent EMF blocker, and also it's great for emotional detox. So if you're around someone that is like really emitting a lot of heavy emotions, just give them a piece of shungite. It'll just like drain all of that from them. But with the shape of this particular crystal, I like to put these on my internet router because it really helps to like tone down on the amount of, I mean, not on my router, close to my router. It helps to tone down the amount of EMF waves that come through. Or if I'm working on my computer, I'll have this close by so that my brain is not like bombarded from the constant electronic smog that we are surrounded by, inevitably surrounded by. And so it has the stabilizing essence of the square, and then it has the projecting essence of the triangle. So this projects and this stabilizes. So this is the anchor. Pyramids were also used as ancient technology to help stabilize fault lines in the earth. So that's another way to like stabilize energy. So that's that for the pyramid. Next, we have, and if you're just hopping on here, hit the like button, say hello, say where you're from. Don't be shy. And if you have any questions about shapes during this live, please drop your questions in the chat and I will get to them as I see them. Otherwise, next we have the sphere. I love spheres. Spheres are great. Spheres are amplifiers. Spheres have like no corners, so they just broadcast. They broadcast everything. You can use them for gathering insight. So if you have like a giant crystal ball and you are a seer and you like to do readings, spheres are so powerful. I was gifted a crystal ball and I actually ended up gifting it to someone else because it was too much for me. Because when you leave spheres uncovered or unattended, let's say you leave it uncovered and then sunlight comes through the window and it hits your sphere, like you could literally have a fire. Like it will magnify your fire. So that's on a physical way. So like spiritually, like you're really tapping into other realms and really seeing into other places. So when you work with spheres, spheres are really, really powerful and should be used with great awareness in cause. I like to use spheres and crystal grids when I'm amplifying. Let's say I'm doing like a crystal grid that's calling in energy, or no. Let's say I'm doing a crystal grid promoting unconditional love in my home. And so I'll take this crystal right here and I'll program it with unconditional love and I'll put it on my altar. And so now it's like radiating out. So it's like this is almost like an internet router. It just kind of like broadcast, not router. This is almost like a broadcaster. And so spheres are excellent. But when you're not working with them, you need to take extra care, cover them up, and take good care of them because unattended, weird things can happen. Spheres are almost like they're kind of like mirrors. They give you access into other realms and portals. And so the thing with that is you're looking in, but what else is looking back out? It's just, food for thought. So when you're not in attendance of it, you definitely want to cover your spheres if they're not programmed. Next, we have, and this was clear quartz, as you can see. Next, we have the cube. I have this beautiful pyrite cube right here. I love cubes. Cubes are excellent for stabilizing energy. This is basically like root chakra energy right here. Pyrite is, I did a video for clear quartz, did a video for shungite, and I did a video for pyrite. But just to give you a quick rundown of pyrite is excellent for increasing your will, increasing abundance, giving you strength and protection, and so much more. So when you take those qualities and you put them in the stability of a cube, this becomes like a super cube. And so these are excellent in crystal grids and to keep in your pocket. Although I would probably use this in a grid just because it's so pretty. If you put this in your pocket, it's going to get scratched up and lose its beautiful corners. All right. Next we have skull. I have so many skulls, but currently all my skulls are hiding from me. And so I have to figure out where they are. And I know they'll reappear when they're ready. So I'm not too stressed, but I have this beautiful skull. This one wanted to come out for the video. Skulls are excellent. People sometimes get turned off by the usage of skulls because of popular culture associating skulls with death and dark demonic things and black witchcraft and awesome. And all of these things skulls represent knowledge. Okay. You can store memory. These are like USB devices. Technically all crystals store knowledge and memories and you can program them. But when you have a crystal skull, because if you think about your skull and what's inside your skull, we have this biocomputer called a brain, this organ that like computes things. And so this crystal skull here is kind of mimicking that, like the storehouse of knowledge. And so when you meditate with a skull, oh my gosh, it's epic. Like when you meet skulls, you're always supposed to ask them, what is your name? They usually tell you what their name is. If they don't tell you, then maybe that's not your skull. I don't know. Maybe you should keep going. But most of them are pretty talkative and they love to communicate. And so when you meditate with a skull, sometimes the skulls I had meditated with a Labradorite skull. This skull took me inside of its library, and I had access to all this wisdom, all this knowledge of whoever stored this information in the skull. And so that is the power of a skull. And also in popular culture is like Indiana Jones. He was going after these skulls. And then, of course, down here in Mexico, there are legends. Oh, I don't even want to say legends because it's true, but depending on who you ask. Anyways, there's a lot of myth and lore around skulls and knowledge and wisdom that is stored. They're wisdom keepers of knowledge. And when you meditate with a crystal skull, you can actually establish a resonance. They will establish a telepathic resonance with you and connect with you, and they can teach you things. So I highly recommend that you get some crystal skulls. All right, so that's the crystal skull, and that's clear quartz. So clear quartz, like a clear quartz crystal skull, is the bomb because it can basically be like any other crystal. It can be programmed, it can amplify any other crystal, it can extract information from other crystals as well. So these also can act as computers. All right, awesome. So if you're hopping on here, if you could hit that like button so we could get that interaction up, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, let's see, the next crystal we have, the next shape. So this one's a little small, but here we have a rose quartz Merkaba. Now, getting back into the importance of knowing and understanding sacred geometry. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a hexagon, we have triangles, we have squares, we have a few shapes that are intertwined within this particular geometric shape. And so, since this is 3D, this would actually be called an icosahedron, which is like a 3D version of the Metatron's cube or the Star of David. So, when you have all of these levels or these complexities of crystals layered on top of each other, so this crystal right here is going to be super powerful for the heart, especially when you look at the Sanskrit description of what the heart looks like. It's not Sanskrit description, Sanskrit chakra illustration of what the heart is. It's actually the Metatron's cube. It's the interlocking triangles, the union of the upper and the lower. And so this is mimicking that. And so this would be an excellent crystal to use when working on the heart, or if you're trying to create or bring fusion to certain energies. So you're, once again, it's like bringing the upper and the lower, bringing them together. Okay, so that's a little bit of crystal healing. And so, generally speaking, last one. If it's a cluster like this is just a little amethyst cluster. Um, these radiate energy out. They also diffuse. So a crystal like this is something that I would like to keep when I travel with me to go, let's say, an Airbnb, a hotel, or someone else's bed that I'm sleeping in. I will put this wonderful, lovely amethyst crystal on the bed, ask it to detox the bed, diffuse the dense energy that may have been on the bed before I go to sleep. And so these, because it has so many different points, you have triangles in there, you have squares, all kinds of shapes. And so they all come to work to like break up the energy. So this is just really good for breaking up the energy. And then I don't have an animal with me, but anytime you have a crystal that is shaped in the shape of an animal, which they call fetish, then you're going to start, that's when you start working with different guides, like spirit guides, specifically in meditation. So just like it's going to be more similar to like working with a skull. So let's say you have, I don't know, a seahorse or a heart. It's going to relate directly to what that animal is. So if you're wanting to connect with wolf energy, go ahead and get yourself a Jasper wolf fetish statue. So I hope this information was beneficial and helpful. And if you're interested in learning more, you can always connect with me. All of the links are provided in the details below, in the description below. And then, of course, I am opening up my energy healing shamanic mentorship course again. We're on cohort number 4. So if you're feeling the call to go a little bit deeper, go ahead and reach out to me. My website is in the description. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.